It's Friday, which means there's only one thing all about the character dining. Today is Akershus. Let's go. Hey everyone, it's Disney Nerd here, aka Abby, and hello, happy Friday. It is a fantastic day. It is time to talk about character dining again in my brand new series all about that character dining. I have done, this will be the fourth video now, I believe. And this one is all about getting your inner princess at Akershus. And this one was surprisingly not that bad. And obviously I'm going to go into great detail about it. But first of all, I want to talk about my experience, who I met, and roughly how the food was. So I'm going to start with the characters. As you walk into the building, you are met by a surprise princess. I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but every video I've watched it's been the same, and it's Belle. And she's beautiful, she's in her gold dress, absolutely stunning, and you can only really see Belle in her gold dress here. And also, if you do the Enchanted Tales of Belle experience at Magic Kingdom, I don't think she meets in her gold dress. I could be wrong, because I'm not a big Walt Disney World enthusiast. Like, I've been 3 times, so I'm not the most amazing person at Walt Disney World. But I do believe that I'm right and that you can only meet her in a gold dress at both of those locations. You might be able to meet her in a gold dress at like a Christmas party or something. I'm not too sure, but anyway. So we walked in and it was fairly easy. We didn't wait very long for a table at all, but you queue up and the first person you meet is Belle. Now again, subject to change. This is when I'm filming, it is July, so this can change, the characters can completely change, and your princesses aren't set in stone either. This is just my experience. So yeah, walked in, met Belle, had a lovely conversation with her. I believe I got her autograph. I think I did. I feel like I did. I got everybody's autographs, so I'm sure I got Belle's. And then they take you over to your table. And then all the princesses sort of enter. And they don't tell you who you have, it's a complete surprise. And basically, they don't want to ruin the magic because I asked out of curiosity and they wouldn't tell me. So I got to the table and I believe my first princess that I met was my absolute favourite, and that was Aurora. Now this is her. I don't have a plush of Aurora. Like, I don't actually have her, which is so bad. And now I think of it, like, I don't have any of the princesses, so I got the Zoom Zoom ones, but I don't have Snow White Zoom Zoom, obviously, for obvious reasons, and I met her too, but, so, spoiler. But yeah, I met Aurora. She was so cool. Obviously, Aurora is my favourite, so I was so happy to meet Aurora. She was amazing. After that, I believe it was Cinderella, and then it was Ariel, and then it was Snow White. So I got basically the original princess gang. Now I'm not sure if this is actually the way it is because I was really hoping I'd meet Aurora. I did meet her in the park, I believe like the same day. I mean, I'm not too sure, I can't remember exactly. But I obviously will link the vlog down below of my experience with all the characters and stuff like that so you guys can see. The only one that we didn't film was Ariel. We completely forgot to film Ariel's interaction, so she's the only one missing on that video, which is such a shame because I love Ariel and we did have a lovely conversation. So I kind of felt bad for Jordan because this was the first princess experience of Jordan's. Obviously, when we met them in the parks, he didn't really speak to him. They did engage him, they always do. I think that the princesses, any Disney park have got it down to a T. You can talk to them about anything to do with their story and they will always have an amazing response. I had some great interactions with princesses. Obviously, I love princesses. I'm a huge princess geek, so it was super fun to meet the princesses. And Jordan said that we could go to Akershus, so this was a really nice thing from Jordan. Basically, he agreed that it was fine, so that's the princess meal that we did. Obviously, we also did traditional Alaforno, which was the one that Jordan was a bit iffy about, but this video isn't about that. So you'll have to wait for that video to talk about that one. So yeah, the princesses, as always, were on point. Even Snow White, like, I don't have a vendetta against Snow White and I don't hate her. She's just the princess that I dislike the most. Like, I have an order, and feel free, if you would like a video explaining my order of princesses, please comment down below, because I'd love to hear who your favourite princess is and the reasons why, and if you have a list, because I do have a list, and unfortunately Snow White is down at the bottom. I don't know why. I think it is something to do with her voice, because I had a very high-pitched voice. I still do, but I had a very high-pitched voice when I was little and it really irritated me, and Snow White's voice is very similar. So I think that's why I just really don't like Snow White. But honestly, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. On to the food. So in the beginning, because we went for dinner, in the beginning, you get like a starter and there's like breads, meat, salads, that sort of thing, and you go up and help yourself. That's like the buffet. We surprisingly ate quite a lot from this. We kept getting bread with like ham and turkey, and because it's like it's set in the Epcot Pavilion in Norway. Sorry, I totally forgot to tell you whereabouts it was. And pretty much near Frozen, the meeting Elsa and Anna, which I did before I went to see the princesses, and near the ride as well. So it's like that way on in Norway. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful, beautiful restaurant. Perfect for a royal or a princess at heart. But yeah, the food was really, really nice. Like I said, we helped ourselves to the bread and the meats and stuff because we are such fussy eaters, it's unreal. And then for the main, we both decided to have the same thing. We both decided to have the meatballs because I love the meatballs at IKEA. I know that sounds so bad, but they were very similar. Like, they were really nice. It was really nice meal. I was actually very surprised. It wasn't the best character meal, which was why it wasn't the first one I wanted to talk about. It wasn't the best dinner. Garden Grill is my favourite, obviously. And not just because of the characters, because obviously I love the princesses. So yeah, the food was really, really nice. We both filled up. We had a lot of food. I had a cocktail. I had the magical mystery cocktail, I think that's what it's called, and you get like an ice cube and it glows in the dark, and I still have my ice cube. I found it yesterday in a shoe. It was in one of my shoes. I don't even know how that happened. I've not worn these shoes since Florida, so I'm assuming that I've packed and I've put it in my shoe and it was in my shoe. It was so weird. Anyway, yeah, I had the cocktail always because we obviously had the dining plan, and after I've done this series I am going to do a video based on the dining plan, so you guys can hear all about that as well, because it was such a different experience. I'd never done it before, and obviously Jordan never ever been, so he'd never done it before either, but it just made these character dinners better because I wasn't worrying about paying for them at the end or booking too many or missing out on one that I really wanted to try. I could try as many as I wanted, and I got the money's worth because we did a lot of character dinings, and here's why. The prices. So then again, this is filmed in July, so if you watch this later on in the year, these prices are varied. These prices can change, as can the characters. So what I researched is for breakfast for an adult, it is around $40 to $48 for princess breakfast, and it will be because the princesses, it's just expensive because it's the Disney princesses, but you have to try a princess meal, that's all I can say. For a child, it's around 30. And then for lunch and dinner for an adult, it is $60. And for a child, it is 40. So yes, lunch and dinner are expensive. They are the most expensive, but definitely if you're on the dining plan and you're not a big fan of eating lots at breakfast, then try dinner, because you know, you're gonna eat your dinner, and then after we'd finished our dinner, pretty much Illuminations was on, and we could watch Illuminations from the Norway Pavilion, so it was a different view. But we actually got a fast pass, and I think that's when we went to watch it, but I didn't film it, or we went home, I can't remember. But yeah, so it was just a lovely experience. Epcot's beautiful anyway, and the restaurant, it was just stunning, like absolutely stunning. It took my breath away. The princesses were lovely. We could have met these characters more than once, but because we went so late, they pretty much did their round and then they sort of disappeared. But I do understand why I wasn't that bothered. Obviously we'd met them, so it was fine. Everybody had met them, so it was pretty much fine, and it was very quiet because it was very late. So that's probably why they had to go home and look after their princes. So yeah, Akershus as a whole, I absolutely loved it. So did Jordan. He's not a princess person. He did speak to them because obviously he's at the table and the princesses aren't going to ignore him. He kept saying how I was his princess and all the princesses thought it was super sweet and all that, you know, lovey-dovey stuff. But yeah, it was really, really good, and I would recommend this if you are, if I don't know how to explain it. If you are a family on a budget and you have a little princess that wants to meet the princesses, and you don't want to wait in those queues, and you don't want to go to Princess Fairy Tale Hall, and you don't want to wait in the hot weather for all the princesses in Epcot, then this is a great place to go, especially if your little one loves the original princesses, because from my research, have only really seen the original princesses there, so like Ariel, Cinderella, Belle, Aurora, Snow White. They are also at the royal table, but when we experienced the royal table, we had Cinderella. Obviously you meet Cinderella when you get there. We had Ariel, Rapunzel, Snow White, and Jasmine. So obviously no Aurora, which really disappointed me, but then we met her anyway, so that was fine. Because I was on that trip, I was on a meet every Disney princess mission, and I successfully did it. But anyway, so yeah, Akershus is definitely for those on a budget. If you are on a budget, I would always recommend breakfast because breakfast is cheaper. If you are on the Disney dining plan, go for the dinner, because A, you get your money's worth, B, the characters are more floaty, especially if you go later. And the food was very, very, very nice. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Akershus. I had a great time. I am a huge Disney princess fan, so I knew I would. The only thing I was worried about was the food and Jordan. But Jordan was absolutely fine and the food was amazing. It was very, very nice. So I really, really enjoyed it. So this has been another episode of All About the Character Dining. Next week's episode will be Cinderella's Royal Table, because I want to do all my positive ones and then end on my negative ones. They are not negative like I would never ever return. I just think my experience was very different to what other people have had, and also with me being such a fussy and Jordan, it became a little bit of an issue for these restaurants. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely weekend and I will see you all soon. Bye!